September 23rd, 2020. Gene, Dave Speranzini isn't here today, so you're seated for Dave. Okay.
Okay.
First item on the agenda this evening is the cease and desist order for 15 Wolf Tree Drive and I guess 21 Wolf Tree Drive at the same time. I know Attorney Pellegrino is here, but what our purpose tonight is to review the order and then either affirm or dismiss the order that was issued for the clearing and the filling that was done on the property. Chris, do you want to sort of give a little bit of background first?
Okay. We had received a phone call that there seemed to have been some extensive clearing that was done on the properties. I went down and took pictures, and looking at the GIS online mapping that we have when we put in the map layer, it was very clear that there were no longer trees, that the latest aerial photo showed where there had been trees. And, looking at the online system when it showed our wetland delineation, which is not a soil survey per se, it's imported from the National Soil Survey, so it's good for laying out farm fields, but at least it gives you an idea. It indicated that some of the tree clearing not only had occurred in an upland review area, but also appeared to have already also included clearing into a wetland itself. And some of the soils that had been disturbed at the back of 21 Wolf Tree seemed to further show evidence of that, because they were pretty dark and peat colored, which would match in with the wetland which is behind it. So the order was issued. It was issued so that it would time to this meeting. And in the interim, we've had the owner of record respond. He's engaged Attorney Pellegrino, as well as, I believe, David Lord. So that should get us up to date at the moment.
Okay, as I mentioned, tonight's discussion is really whether we affirm the order or not. But Attorney Pellegrino, do you have anything you want to add before we start talking about it?
Sure. Thank you for having me. As mentioned, I'm an attorney in New Haven with the Pellegrino Law Firm. Mr. Esposito, who's an acquaintance of mine, called me, and so I've been retained by him to assist. I received the letters, spoke to him, and my immediate suggestion was to engage a soil scientist to go out and do some borings and some tests to determine a more clear delineation of the wetlands. He was on site yesterday, and Mr. Esposito may be on as the call-in. I don't know for sure, but I know he was trying to get on.
Yeah, yes, I am, Bernie. Thank you.
Okay, so he's here as well. We're both very interested in working through this and resolving it if we can in as expeditious a manner as possible. Mr. Lord was there yesterday, getting the lay of the land. He is scheduled to return next Tuesday with a small piece of equipment so he can get down to the wetlands, probably be a little bobcat with rubber wheels, so he can get in there and actually get to the virgin soil, because there's been some filling in the area. So he's set to return next week to do that and give us a better idea of more accurate depiction of where the wetlands are and where the upland review area is, and then get that mapped and get it into Sullivan and to yourselves so we can have further discussion perhaps at your next meeting.
All right, I'm comforted to hear that, because it's oftentimes we face situations where either people are unaware of the fact that what they do isn't supposed to be done, and as long as we have cooperation from the property owner to try to resolve these things, we treat people fairly in the end. So I'm happy to hear that. and we have a lot of faith in David Lord too. So that was a good choice also.
Thank you.
Um,
I did want to mention, I don't mean to interrupt, but I did want to mention that certainly at the time that the work was undertaken to clear a number of trees that had come down and then trying to manage the site, certainly it was not Mr. Esposito's intention to violate any of your regulations or any state statute. He was just unaware of the fact that that area could or had been potentially designated as such. So certainly in this case, it was not an intentional act, and we are standing still, no further activity other than trying to delineate the wetland area and then come back to you to discuss a resolution.
we probably don't need to belabor this too long. Then we'll wait for the results of the investigation. But just for purposes of tonight, what we really just need to do is move to affirm the cease and desist order. We're not going to take any action on it, and we'll wait an application and results of Mr. Lord's work and some mapping. But I don't know. Does anybody else have any? I don't want to push this.
It seems perfectly reasonable to wait.
Yeah. Anyone else have any comments?
No, I think once we see where the wetlands really are in the review area, then we can go from there and figure out what's been done and what will need to be done to probably do some restoration work.
Anybody have anything else? All right, if there's no other discussion needed for tonight, do we have a motion to affirm the 2 cease and desist orders for 21 and 15 Wolf Tree Drive?
I'll make the motion to
Affirm the order.
to affirm the cease and desist order.
All right, and do we have a second? Josh?
That was Jack.
Jack
Yeah.
moved, Josh seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Any objections? Attorney Pellegrino, thank you for joining us this evening, and Mr. Esposito also. We'll wait to hear from you next month or whenever you get your materials together. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
yep, you too. Take care.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Bye.
Okay, the next item on new business, James Fortin, 33 Sanford Road, application for improvements to areas of hiking trail on town property at 33 Sanford Road. Mr. Fortin, want to just summarize what you plan to do?
This section of trail is very muddy, especially when it rains, and it becomes almost really unusable for the people at that time, where they would have to walk around it and walk on, sections of woodland that are not trail, or just not use the trail at all. So my proposal was to build a low to the ground sort of walkway to get over that section of trail without having to go around it, so it would still be usable even in wet conditions.
You showed some pictures of it, right? With the plan.
Yeah, there were some pictures of like a similar style bridge.
Chris, did you send out those pictures or?
It was sent out via attachment to you. Yes.
We got it.
Oh, okay. I'll go back and look at that. So you had pictures of the area. Was there a drawing in there of what you were going to propose in terms of what you were going to build? That in there? Perhaps even a materials list as to quantity or size or construction, some notes about what you were proposing to do. I don't know if this is an 8-foot long walkway or a 80-foot long walkway. I'm sorry, I didn't see the attachment.
The total length of it is 120 feet long, okay. And the width at the longest point is 3 feet wide.
Okay, so this is going to be sitting on. I would imagine not piers. It's just going to be some sort of a joist type thing underneath with boards on top.
Yes, 4x4 joists underneath and 2x10 longboards on top as the walkway where people would walk on.
Okay, so this is going to be,
Chris, have you, excuse me, hey, Chris, have you been out there or familiar with the area?
I have not been out to see this particular portion of the trail. I was out there when another Eagle Scout did the bridge that went directly across the stream, but I haven't been to this particular part, no.
I guess my inclination probably is to approve it subject to you, going out there and just reviewing the exact way it's going to be constructed.
That would be fine.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
So many of these things are so site condition specific that you kind of need actual guidance while it's just before construction. Give some direction as to what we're doing.
So you would want like a pre-construction meeting like we've done on other applications?
Yeah, I don't want to be too complicated, but I think going out there and just giving some input as to the best way to lay the thing out would make most sense.
Okay.
yeah, also, I don't know if there's any safety considerations, but if there's stuff like that or the path is the optimum place to put it, those sorts of things.
Okay.
I presume you're going to use pressure treated materials?
Yeah, all ground contact treated, so it won't.
Is there going to? I don't know what the existing path looks like. Are you going to do some movement of materials or leveling it, or I don't know if it needs any of that or not.
No, you would just be able to place it because of the way it's set up. It's made so it can be placed and removed very easily.
Okay.
Jim, would you be constructing these off-site and then bringing them in to lay them down?
Yes.
You've got some real hefty friends to help you bring in the 12-foot sections or whatever they're going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the same friends that did those phone poles for the bridge, don't forget.
Oh, okay. Well, they've got good muscles then.
They had practice.
Good.
I think we can just agree that that's a good way to do it.
So we need a motion to approve this.
Right. I would suggest a motion to approve, subject to Chris and Mr. Fortin driving a site appropriate solution to the layout of the bridge and positioning of it. The walkway, I should say.
And we can waive the fees, or maybe they already have been.
You need to waive them too.
Yeah, I think we should include that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have somebody move that?
So moved.
Okay, Josh moved. Do we have a second?
I'll second it. Jack.
Jack seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. You're all set, Mr. Fortin. You could work with Chris as far as more details, but from Wetlands perspective, it's approved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
James, before you leave, just send me an email, and I don't know if you want to meet after school or on a weekend, but let me know what works out for you, and I'll just meet you out at the site, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, next on the agenda, correspondence, enforcement officer report. Anything going on, Chris, we need to know about?
I'm still working with Mr. Asparo, and we're getting there, but we're not there yet. So I will report back to you again at our October meeting. But we've been in contact about doing more extensive plantings and whatnot that he's done because he has where plantings were supposed to be solid in a sense in an undisturbed area because the plantings were just supposed to recreate what had been disturbed. He's actually created a lawn in that area, so he is understanding that that needs to go back to being an undisturbed area with the plantings being the beginning of the regrowth of that area.
Well, I'm sure you're the right person to educate him.
Okay.
And so no other problems that we have to deal with or talk about?
I don't know of any. It's been pretty quiet, although we're going to have a bunch of houses starting up pretty soon. Not sure that they're going to need wetland. Well, no, one will need a wetland permit. So you may actually see a residential project coming in soon. And I believe that you may have some input on the brewery project down on Bradley Road, which will be on the south side of Bradley Road. This was the only side that had some wetlands on it. I have not seen any site plans yet, so we'll see if they're within the upland review area or not. But that project will be going forward shortly.
Okay. Plus, aren't there drainage issues that we've had to deal with down there for West River stuff?
We did a lot of drainage work with that, and that was when both sides were proposed for the active adult plan development. Now the south side will solely have the brewery on it, and where it was going to be intensely developed before, it will have more open area. So we'll see what we get, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So no site visits. Approval of minutes. We have some minutes that I guess we need to take a look at.
I don't know that. Did I send you minutes? I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't bring them with me if we did, so
I don't remember minutes.
Okay, then why don't we just push them until October and I'll resend everything to everyone. How's that?
that'll be good. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Because I know the ones from the 3rd and the 1st definitely went out. I'm not sure about the 15th, but I'll resend them to you. So
I might have.
I don't.
I don't remember.
Make for good reading. It will be like a fairy tale.
Okay. Anyone else have anything we need to talk about?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry about the short meeting.
No.
Do we have a motion to adjourn then?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Gene, you second it?
Second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. All right, we're all set, folks. It's 7:48. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.